Thanks to Taylor Racing, we're running a Panigale V2 for the 2025 season. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the oil change on the Panigale V2. Obviously, I've removed the bodywork. You'll also notice that some of the bolts are wire locked and there are engine case protectors on the bike because it's a race bike. This is where the drain plug is located, underneath the motorcycle at the bottom of the sump well. To help the oil flow out quickly, remove the filler cap so the air can get in. Then remove the sump plug and allow the oil to drain into a suitable container. The sump plug has a magnet on it to collect any metal debris that there may be in the oil. This often looks worse than it actually is, as the tiny fragments of metal form on the magnetic field caused by the magnet. So don't worry if yours looks like this, that's perfectly normal. Just clean it off with a shop rag and then use some brake cleaner to finish off cleaning the sump plug. For this next step, I use our 1/4-inch drive ratchet as the sockets are slimmer and it makes it easier to get on the bolt heads. To remove the oil filter, you need to undo the two 8mm head bolts that hold this cover in place on the left side of the motor. There's a trick to getting this cover off. The cover itself is threaded to accept M8 bolts, and what you have to do is screw M8 bolts into the threaded portions to start pulling the cover off. I found a couple of M8 bolts in our spares box, screwed them into the threaded part of the cover until I felt them bed against the engine casing. Once the bolts are bedded against the casing, you start turning them gently, turning a bit at a time, and you'll notice that they start to draw the cover plate away from the engine casing so you can remove it. Once the cover is clear, inspect the seals to make sure they're in good condition. The next trick is to actually get the filter out. I was using a magnetic grabber and had to wiggle it around a bit to get it loose, and then I added another one, and between the two of them I was able to draw the filter out of the housing. For your reference, this is the correct part number for the filter. The filter has a rubber seal on the end of it. That's the end that goes into the housing. Grease the seals of the cover before you fit it. The thinner web of the housing goes to the top, the thicker to the bottom. Carefully fit the two 8mm head bolts that hold the cover in place. Then slowly tighten the bolts, making sure you draw the cover down into place evenly so that it fits snug against the engine casing. Before you move on, have a good general cleanup to make sure there's no residual oil on the outside or indeed the inside of the exhaust cover. Then torque the bolts up to 13 Newton meters. Fit the drain plug with a new crush washer and then torque this up to 13 Newton meters. Slowly add 3.7 litres of 15W50 4-stroke motorcycle oil. The sight glass will at first look over full, but once you've run the motor and then shut the engine down and let it settle, it should look like this. As a final check from the right-hand side underneath, look across into the left side exhaust cover and just make sure there's no residual oil from your oil change left in that cover. So I hope that was helpful and informative. Please like and subscribe. It helps us to build the channel so we can bring more videos like this to you. And you can also follow me on Instagram at RaceDadReviews. We'll see you soon.